So in the previous video, I told you guys 3 ways that I think all business owners should be leveraging AI. Regardless of what the background is, what your level of experience is, those are 3 bona fide ways that you should be leveraging AI in your business today. By the way, if you did not see that video, go to my channel and look for Ignoring AI is the name of the video with a question mark. Okay, that's the video where I showed you how to leverage AI, 3 practical ways in your business for all business owners so that you can make more money, be more productive. Okay, but there was someone in the comments that asked me, could I also make a video explaining 3 ways that I believe AI could be dangerous for business owners? Okay, and so I'm gonna give them to you today. So this video will be 3 dangers of using AI. Okay, 3 dangers of using AI as a business owner. Now, what I want you to understand is this. There's duality to everything. I'm never all the way one thing and not something else. Okay, it's the way God set this thing up. You got heaven, you got hell. You got water, right? You got the ocean, you got land. You got the back of my hand, you got the front of my. There's not one side of anything. So when we look at that, I'm always consciously aware when I hear people over index or super excited about one thing, but they never consider the backside of it, right? We call it the front side of the blessing and the backside of the burden. So when you think about that, if AI is so good in so many ways, then it probably also is bad in several ways as well. One of the ways is this. I believe AI is extremely dangerous if you use it for context versus content. Using AI for context versus content. Now, this is what I mean. So let's just say I asked Chat, I was like, Chat, give me a sales script, right? Give me a sales script. I could even give it a tone. I could say, give me a Jeremy Minor type sales script. Give me a Grant Cardone type sales script. And it will produce a sales script that's similar to those people, okay? That's content. If I start asking it a bunch of questions about how to say the sales script, how to deliver the sales script, that's asking it for context. Y'all tracking so far? Why is that dangerous? Well, Chat gonna give you some responses because it's extremely intelligent, far more intelligent than any of us human beings, okay? But knowledge is not the same thing as wisdom. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. So Chat can give me a bunch of knowledge that's aggregate, that is grabbed from all these various sources and all the people that's been feeding this thing. But what it's not going to give me is the wisdom of how to apply the knowledge. And if I'm not careful, and if I'm not great at sales, and I don't understand all the nuance because I haven't done a lot of sales calls, and I take this and I try to run with it, there's going to be gaps in the way in which I deliver whatever it is sales script that I asked it for. Does that make sense? So when I say I wouldn't ask Chat for context over content, it's for that reason. There's dangers in that. Okay? Because I've made millions of dollars selling online and helped others people do the same. It's funny, I was my partner David and I was in Philly with him not long ago. And we were riding in the car and there was a potential client that we were talking to. Just so happened we happened to be together during this time. And even though we weren't visually with one another, right? We kind of going through this process, we just having dialogue, and we were going to set up a more legit meeting once we got back and got settled. While we riding in the car, I'm listening for things that you don't hear. Y'all hear what I just said? I'm listening for things that you don't hear. So without me, because I've done so many sales calls and because I understand human psychology and behavior, I'm listening for behavior changes that you would never hear audibly out of the person's mouth. So there was a point in the conversation where we went through like, so, you know, I have the PUDP sales framework, okay? Profile, understanding, diagnosis, prescription. So we going through the profile initially, right? Just through conversation. We having conversation, but I'm building the profile. And then I wanted to start to understand from their perspective the problems that they were having. The person was explaining the various problems and challenges they were having in their business, this and that, which, by the way, initially they didn't see as a problem, but I helped them reframe it to see that this was actually a bigger problem than they gave credit to. Okay. Then after I went through the understanding, then now it's time to diagnose it. Okay. So once we diagnosed what that problem was, they were ready for the prescription. But I didn't want to provide the prescription until we got into a more traditional setting where we could be on Zoom and see each other and go through all the process. But we went through PUD. When we got down to the diagnosis, watch what happened. I could, without seeing this individual, when they thought that we were about to transition into talking about what the money was and the investment and all of that, I could sense them straighten themselves up and almost sit up straight in a chair. I'm telling you what I know, right? As a result of that, I knew exactly how to pivot because that meant that they were already bracing themselves for impact because they weren't ready yet to hear the number. And if they did, they would have been sticker shock. So it was more appropriate to wait until we got on a separate call so that we could talk more about what those psychological challenges and objections would be to get them to a more comfortable state. Okay. Why is that important? It's important because, again, I could have asked chat to produce my PUDP framework and I could have handed it to somebody else that's got a business and they could have went through that PUDP framework. But if they didn't have the context that I have from running all the reps that I had, they wouldn't have known to take that pivot right there. They would have assumed that the prospect was excited. And so they would have went right into the P, which is the prescription. They would have given the prescription, the price, and then it probably wouldn't have closed because they weren't ready for that yet. Although they verbally thought they were, I knew just because I can hear the shift in their body language without ever seeing them on the other side of the screen. Hey, real quick, if you are a coach, consultant, business owner, aspiring business owner, you want to start making more money online. Maybe you stuck at that, 5, 10, 20K a month ceiling. Maybe some of you are still in ideation mode. You're just like, I got to get out of the job. I know I got something in me I need to give birth to, but you can't quite figure out how to either scale it or start it. Make sure you come to our Purpose to Profits Challenge. My partner, David, and I are going to be showing you how to successfully grow your business online, helping you with content creation, helping you with marketing strategies, helping you with sales, fulfillment, the whole nine. Okay. Showing you our exact systems on how we went from not making 6 figures a year, not multiple 6 figures a year, but 6 figures a month and even sometimes 6 figures in a day. If that sounds like you, make sure you click the link in the description, sign up for the challenge. General admission is only $17. All right. $47 for the VIP. If you want to spend 1 hour exclusively with David and I each day and ask all of your questions specifically, make sure you get the VIP ticket. We will see you there and get back to the episode. Ain't that crazy? Like that's what I'm talking about, right? See, you get knowledge from learning. You guys are getting knowledge right now. You get wisdom from 2 places, from God and through experience. You get wisdom from God and through experience that then lets you know how to apply that knowledge. And that's where I see a danger for business owners if they're relying on chat for this context instead of relying on chat for content and then going out to get real life context. All right. Number 2, using AI to learn what you don't know. Okay. Using AI to learn what you don't know. Now, some of y'all gonna be like, well, wait a minute. Well, what else am I supposed to be using AI for? Yes, we should go to AI. We should go to chat to learn new things. No doubt about it. But what I'm talking about are those of you, not y'all, because y'all are smart. That's why y'all watching this video. But those of them that will go to chat to get a bunch of content and context on a specific area of business that they aren't good at yet. And then they take that and they had chat build out this presentation that's in the voice and the cadence and the style of some other prolific entrepreneur, and then they get a bunch of people on the call and they walk them through this presentation and actually sell people on stuff that they ain't never done. Now, again, that's what I meant by not y'all, but them, because I know y'all wouldn't do that, right? Y'all here because you want to learn. But it's a lot of them out there that think that this is going to be a viable solution. That they can just take scripts from AI and then just go out and create content about things that they haven't done and had the results in. Here's the problem. Because I know some of you like, that's kind of scary, right? If I'm a consumer of that. Could be. But the beautiful part about it is that because AI lacks the human experience of the context, eventually that well will run dry. Oh, they'll have content forever. But what they won't have is context forever. And eventually somebody that's really had other life experience will be able to discern that they have not. Okay. So don't be a fraud. Do not go out there using AI to try to learn what you don't know for the purposes of going to teach it to others, sell it to others, trick others into thinking that they're getting something that they're not. Don't be a fraud. This is a big one. And third, this one right here, using AI as a coach. Now, I'm not saying that AI can't be an assistant. I'm not saying that AI can't be a form of a coach. But if you let AI be your coach, you got one big problem. One of the most effective ways to use AI is to communicate with it in a very specific way. To tell it what's a goal and then ask it, what do you need from me to best help me get to that goal, right? So it could be setting up a 12-month projection in your business. It could be setting up a specific sales goal that you want to hit quarterly. It could be a product launch that you want to come out with. It could be a myriad of different things that it can help you if you can tell it how to help you. Well, here's the problem. A lot of people right now go out and they get a lot of what I call peripheral information. You go to YouTube, get some, you go to TikTok, get some, you go to live and get some, and you start to hear some of the same things being echoed to where you almost think that you know this well enough because you've heard it in so many different places in so many different formats. The problem with that is that would give you enough information to tell Chat or Claude or whatever you use for AI enough to get it to start giving you information. The problem you got, though, is that you never learned anything. You just started to retain information from different places. So you don't know it at a level of mastery yet. Many people don't even know it at an elementary level yet. They're just familiar with it, right? So you take concepts and content that you're familiar with, you feed it to AI, and then you want AI to coach you on what to do next. Well, that's not incorrect necessarily, but it's certainly incomplete. Here's why. Because if you don't know things at a deep enough level, AI is going to give you its best answer. But that don't mean that you getting the right answer. And if you got nothing to hold it up to and measure it against, then you're going to take it and run with it, not knowing if it's actually correct. Does that make sense? So we got to be careful to not use AI as a coach exclusively. Now, for those of you that have coaches, you can take concepts that your coach has taught you or teaching you, and you can go to AI and ask it for various nuance and things of that nature. And you could also come back to your coach and say, hey, coach, I took that concept you was telling me about and I plugged it in AI and it gave me these 3 recommendations. Does this make sense to you? Does that line up? And then you got, right, many plans fail because of lack of counsel, but with multiple advisors, they succeed. You got somebody that can fact check to say, oh, wow, yeah, nah, that right there that's false. Yeah, that won't work, right? So I bring this up to you guys, right? These 3 dangers. 1, trusting AI for context versus content. 2, using AI to learn what you don't know and then go regurgitate and try to teach people and sell people on stuff that you aren't proficient at, no bueno. And then 3rd, using AI as a coach. I don't bring these things up to scare you. I bring these things up to inform you, because AI can be a great servant, but it will be a horrible master. If you go out here trusting its context, if you go out here leveraging it to go and do things you're not proficient at, if you go out here and trust it as a coach and a guide without having the other additional information that you need to hold it accountable to know whether you're getting the right information or not, it now becomes your master instead of your servant. If this was helpful, all I ask is that you share this with somebody, like it, comment, especially those that asked me to do this video. Please let me know if it was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.